Get ready for a whirlwind of combat sports news. Rising star Byron Valle is aiming for the UFC, and he's on a fast track to prove it. We'll break down his next big fight and his incredible journey from beginner to contender in just 3 years. You won't want to miss this. Then, the featherweight division is heating up as Movsar Evloev, the undefeated contender, faces off against the powerful Lerone Murphy in the main event at UFC London. We've got the odds, the breakdown, and what this fight means for the title picture. But what's next for veteran Josh Emmett after a tough knockout loss? We're analyzing his future in the octagon and who he might face in his next crucial bout. And get ready for a massive return. MMA legends Nate Diaz and Mike Perry are stepping back into the cage for a highly anticipated showdown that's set to break records. Plus, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are back. Stick around, you're gonna want to see this. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a second.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Byron Valle's meteoric rise, on the fast track to the UFC. Barely 3 years into his training, 22-year-old Byron Valle is already making waves with his sights set firmly on the UFC. He's preparing for his second professional bout at Up Next Fighting 31 against Holt Falcons, showcasing a maturity beyond his years. Valle's journey began out of a passion ignited by his uncle, but his parents' rule meant he had to wait until 18 to pursue combat sports. Since then, he's exploded onto the scene, going 7-1 as an amateur before a successful pro debut. He credits MMA with providing a much-needed outlet for discipline and competition, a stark contrast to his earlier experiences with soccer and football. "It allowed me to fight without getting in trouble," Valle shared, emphasizing the seriousness and high stakes of the sport. His mindset has shifted from survival to seeking finishes, aiming to be an insurmountable obstacle for his opponents. Valle is confident heading into his fight with Falcons, believing he's the superior fighter everywhere and ready to prove why many see him as the next big thing. He respects his opponents, but trains as if they are UFC caliber, aiming for his most impressive performance yet. Valle's ambition is clear. He wants to face top-tier competition and ascend the ranks as quickly as possible, with a clear goal of reaching the UFC within the next year. Fans are buzzing about Valle's potential, with many already calling him a future UFC star. Analysts note his rapid development and confident demeanor as key indicators of his promise. Get ready, because this young phenom is just getting started. Next up, we're diving into the odds for a massive featherweight title eliminator at UFC London. Evloev versus Murphy, decoding the UFC London main event odds. UFC London is set to be headlined by a high-stakes featherweight clash between undefeated contender Movsar Evloev and hometown favorite Lerone Murphy. Evloev enters as the clear favorite, but Murphy's knockout power and home crowd advantage present intriguing betting opportunities. Evloev, standing at 19-0 professionally with 9 UFC wins, is known for his control-heavy, wrestling-based style, consistently piling up takedowns and significant strikes. He's typically favored in the betting markets, with odds hovering around -238, reflecting a consensus that he'll win via decision. Murphy, however, offers a stark contrast. He averages more significant strikes per minute and boasts knockout power, as evidenced by his recent finishes of Edson Barboza and Dan Ige and a sensational knockout of Aaron Pico. The odds reflect this dynamic. Murphy is the underdog at +225, but his finishing upside and the energy of fighting on home soil make him a dangerous proposition. For bettors, the question is whether to trust Evloev's consistent, grinding approach or to back Murphy's explosive striking and potential for a fight-ending moment. The market suggests Evloev is the likely winner by decision, but Murphy's path to victory lies in his ability to land a fight-altering shot. Will the favorite prevail, or can the underdog pull off a massive upset? Coming up, we look at the tough road ahead for a former title challenger after a devastating defeat. Josh Emmett's crossroads. What's next after UFC Vegas 114 stumble? After a brutal first-round knockout loss to rising star Kevin Vallejos at UFC Vegas 114, the future of veteran featherweight Josh Emmett is uncertain. Once a title challenger, Emmett finds himself at a critical juncture in his career. At 41, Emmett entered the fight feeling better than ever, aiming to rebound from a difficult stretch that saw him go 1-4 in his previous 5 outings against elite competition like Ilia Topuria and Yair Rodriguez. Vallejos, a 24-year-old phenom, was expected to be a stern test, and he delivered, stopping Emmett with minimal strikes landed. This marks the second consecutive first-round knockout loss for Emmett, a stark fall from his 18-2 record that led to an interim title fight just 3 years ago. The fight game is notoriously unforgiving, and steep declines are common. Many analysts believe Emmett's next fight will be his last chance to prove he still belongs in the UFC. A potential opponent being discussed is David Onama, who is also coming off a main event loss. A matchup between Emmett and Onama could serve as a crucial test for both fighters, with a win keeping Emmett ranked and a loss potentially ending his octagon tenure while getting Onama back on track. Can this veteran find one last moment of glory? Don't go anywhere, because we've got a blockbuster announcement about MMA legends returning to the ring. Diaz vs. Perry headlines, massive May event with Rousey and Ngannou. Get ready for an explosive return to MMA. Most Valuable Promotions has announced that Nate Diaz and Mike Perry will meet in a 5-round welterweight bout on May 16th at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, streaming live on Netflix. This fight marks a significant return for both fighters. Diaz hasn't competed in MMA since September 2022, having since competed in boxing with a win over Jorge Masvidal and a loss to Jake Paul. Perry, the reigning king of violence in bare-knuckle fighting championship, is returning to MMA for the first time in 4 years, where his last octagon appearance was in April 2021. Both fighters are bringing their signature intensity, with Diaz declaring, "It's time." Don't forget where this all came from. Perry added, "The king of violence returns to MMA to elbow his opponent in the F***-seeking face." The bout is part of a massive triple-header, also featuring Ronda Rousey vs. Gina Carano and Francis Ngannou vs. Felipe Lins. MVP co-founder Naxa Bidarian stated the event aims to break records, calling it the biggest viewership in MMA history. This card promises a night of unparalleled action, solidifying MVP's vision for creating global combat sports events. This is huge news for fight fans. And that wraps up our top stories for today. But we're not done yet. Stick around for a lightning round recap of all the action. That's all the time we have for today's breakdown. We saw rising star Byron Valle aiming for the UFC, a massive featherweight clash between Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy, the uncertain future of Josh Emmett, and the explosive return of Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more breaking combat sports news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments which fight you're most excited for, and follow us on all our social media platforms for exclusive content. We'll see you next time.